Alrighty. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's SIG Docs biweekly community meeting. My name is Natalie Vlatko. I'm one of the co-chairs of SIG Docs. I'm joined by Ray Lahano, who's another co-chair of ours, and Kat Cosgrove, who's one of our tech leads. And I will shout out to Tim Bannister, Emeritus Tech Lead there. Quickly for the YouTube world, to mention today's date. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of October, 2024. And we're here to chat all things docs, where we've just started a release, so we've got hopefully some updates coming up. But firstly, before we get started on an interesting and fun agenda, I wanted to see if anyone who is new on the call or new to the community wanted to unmute and say hi and introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Femi. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Sunderland, so I'm looking to be a part of the community and contribute in whatever way I can.
Perfect. Hi, Femi. Thank you. Welcome. I only just logged onto Slack a little while ago. I will reply to your DM, so thank you for reaching out to me. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And hopefully you get some really great stuff out of today's meeting and any future meetings and work you do with the docs team. Hello. Anyone else who wanted to either unmute or even in the chat say hi and introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm William. I'm in the comms shadow. I'm one of the comms shadow. I'm in the Netherlands.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, William. Thanks for joining. Our shadows for all the different release comms and release docs teams are always welcome and absolutely encouraged to attend these meetings. So thank you for coming along, and hopefully you learn some really cool stuff from the release this cycle. Anyone else who wants to say hello and introduce themselves? Awesome. No worries. Thanks, Aline. Hi. Welcome back. Glad that you've joined us. Thank you so much. Anyone else who would like to unmute or in the chat say hi?
Hi, Marcelo. I'm not new. I'm just coming back after a long time.
Awesome. Hi, Marcelo. Welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Thanks.
William, just to answer your question, having edit access to the meeting notes is actually when you join the SIG Docs, what is it called? Mailing list. And then you'll be the Google group, and you'll always be able to have access. So for anyone, that's a great point. So for anyone who doesn't have access right now but wants to add to the agenda, also feel free to just put it in the chat, and one of us with access can absolutely put it into the meeting document as well. Thank you, Ray, for adding the link there. Thanks so much. All right, one last chance for newbies to say hi. All right. If you are wanting to say hello, or maybe just even add your name in as a new contributor, feel free to do so at your own pace in the meeting docs there, or even to in the chat later on. That's no problem. We understand that not everyone wants to always introduce themselves and say hi, but hopefully you introduce yourself in another way in the community, either when you're starting to contribute or as being part of some of the shadows of the release team as well. All right, so we do have quite a lot of folks on the call today, and quite a lot of people that I haven't seen before, so I will kind of go through and explain a few things that we do generally in these calls so that everyone has a good idea. Firstly, we want to go through a couple of updates and reminders that we have specifically for our special interest group. In SIG Docs, we do something that we call PR wrangling, which is that every week we have someone who has access to privileges in the SIG, who is kind of tasked with driving a lot of our contributions that are coming in, our PRs that are coming in, so that we can either get them reviewed and merged, or maybe actually getting tech reviews, or perhaps actually they're not PRs that are ready to be kind of merged at this time, and just being able to actually get our PR numbers to a reasonable level. This week's PR wrangler is Tim. Tim is actually being shadowed by Charles this week. So for any folks who need any kind of reviews for this week specifically, you can absolutely tag the PR Wrangler that's on shift for the week that you're kind of working there, and they're absolutely happy to help out. Feel free to do so in the SIG Docs channel, also in Slack, and call out for the PR Wrangler too. That's also very, very welcome. Next week's PR Wrangler is Chiming, another one of our tech leads. And Chiming is being shadowed by Rizal Dim. And then the following week's PR Wrangler is Depeche, one of our approvers, being shadowed by Steve Hardman. For folks who are interested in shadowing PR Wranglers, you can absolutely do so. We would encourage you reach out to the specific Wrangler that you'd like to shadow, just like Femi has done with me. So that's great work. And then what you can do is sign up to basically shadow that PR Wrangler. Everyone has their own different style and way of working and way of approaching that work. So you'll learn from a lot of different things from different people. On top of that, we also have a role that we call the Issue Wrangler. It's the same idea, but taking issues every week with people who are reviewers of SIG docs, so a larger pool of contributors who've been around the SIG for quite some time, who kind of know probably what we want to be working on and adding for users in the community. And we try and make sure that issues can be triaged, that we can get them with clearer specifications and information so they can be worked on by the community. And so we also do this. This week's Issue Wrangler is another one of our tech leads, Xander. And next week's Issue Wrangler is Naranjan. So if you are a reviewer, make sure you know your schedule as well. And I've got the link there in the meeting notes too. All right, there's a link also in the Google, in the meeting notes there to join the Google group so that you have access to the agenda. Again, it may take either some minutes or maybe an hour or so, possibly. Google groups are large and interesting, but that access will come through, and then you'll be able to edit the meeting notes as you see fit. Finally, I do want to add as well that if you at all with anything that you're experiencing in the specific community in Kubernetes that you think might be a code of conduct violation, we really want you to be able to feel supported and respected in the Kubernetes project. Our general code of conduct does want everyone to be kind and respectful to each other. But if you feel like there has been a violation either in a meeting like this, on an issue or PR, or in Slack, we definitely recommend that you reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee and let them know, and you will and can remain anonymous with that information as well. So feel free to do that. If you need any kind of guidance or more information on that, please reach out to one of us as leads, or anyone else that you may trust in the community for that too, and they can absolutely help you. Okay. I've talked a lot, but I want to go now to the rest of our agenda. We are currently up to release 132, and a lot of the information that we'll get is from the two teams that we work very closely with in SIG Docs on the release, which is the release docs and release comms. And I wanted to invite whoever is today's docs updater to give the current doc status for 132.
Hi, this is Anshuman Tripathi from the SIG Release Talks team. Happy to be here. I'll share the update. So the current talk status is green. The branch sync will be done today. The shadow orientation is complete. I think we have also completed the preliminary assignments for the enhancements for everybody in the SIG Release Talks team. So going forward, we will be confirming the access to the enhancements board. The first reminders for the draft VR deadline would be sent around October 11th. So this gives us approximately 2 weeks of heads up. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Anshuman, for that update. Does anyone have any questions or feedback for release docs? All right, awesome. Great to hear that the status is green. Thank you so much. For folks who are new, status can also be yellow and red to indicate the different kinds of possible work that's happening, or maybe work that still needs to happen and might be approaching a deadline. We always recommend our teams to be like super transparent if something does need the help or push of one of us in leads, or we're approaching a deadline that might be a bit shaky. It's completely okay to have a yellow or red status. So thanks so much for the update. And now I'm going to call on whoever the comms rep is to give their update.
Hi, this is Ryota from comms team. And I'll just give a quick update from our side. So the status is green, and for comms team, we had our onboarding session that was done on Friday last week, if I remember correctly. And we now have better understanding as a group, better understanding about the key dates to keep in mind, such as freeze dates and some of the deadlines, and relevant links and pages shared and organized within the group, so we can easily track anything that's coming up and all the links that we need to know about, which includes the enhancement tracking board, which is referenced here, and just getting ready for the enhancement freeze, which is to happen sometime soon. So I think that's it for the comms team.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryota. Does anyone have any questions or feedback for the comms team?
Just to reiterate what Natalie said, for both comms and docs team, since this release cycle comes at the end of the year, and there's interruptions like KubeCon, holidays. We welcome any the comms and docs teams to bring up any issues that will come about. We would prefer if something is not, if the status is not green, for us to be notified. So don't be shy if the status is not green. We actually prefer to see if the status is not green. So yeah, so feel free to so don't be shy to give a non-green status.
Awesome. Thanks, Ray. Definitely +1. And I know us in the SIG Docs group as leads, like a few of us will be chatting to see who is around in the release, like end of release timeframe in the holiday period that can kind of provide approvals and help and whatever is needed, so that we're kind of sharing the burden so that Kat doesn't have to do everything, but also so that we're making sure that we're around so that all the docs work that happens for the release gets happened and shipped on time. So thanks everyone for your updates. And we'll go on to the rest of the agenda. And I want to say to everyone that the rest of the agenda is empty, which is can be good or bad. But because there's nothing in the meeting notes right now, I want to ask if anyone has any issues or PRs that they'd like to bring up and discuss in today's meeting. Okay, silence means no, which is great.
I will throw one in if I can.
All right.
So it is 48131, and it's building on work by Richard OC. And I've taken that work and I've run with it. So it's my PR. And I've stuck it in the Zoom chat, and welcome some feedback. Especially feedback that you're also willing to type into GitHub, because just putting it on YouTube is not as handy.
Yeah, for sure.
That is, by the way, not me talking to Natalie. That's me talking to the whole room. Everyone is welcome to review. It's open source.
Great. Thanks so much, Tim. Obviously, for folks who are new, we don't kind of be on the meeting and absolutely sit and read through a PR altogether now and kind of provide that. This is an open call for the next bit amount of time to please come in and give feedback on this specific PR. I've got it, hopefully that you can see it on the screen there, for adding the emission control diagram. Thanks so much, Tim, for bringing this up. So yeah, any feedback welcome. Tim, would you be able to let us know if this is something that newish contributors may want to jump in on, or are you looking for feedback from anyone?
Find that button. Newish contributors, you have a special gift, or superpower I used to call it. You do not understand all the details, or you may not. You might be like new to contributing, but you know admission control really well. But the people I want to speak to are the people who do not understand Kubernetes admission control, because this diagram is for you. And if you look at this diagram and you think, I like it, I understand things more, that's good. And if you look at this diagram and you think, I am none the wiser, then we want that feedback from all of you. It's good to know if this is confusing. It's good to know if some of it's confusing and another bit isn't. Tell us about the bit that is confusing. All of that. And yeah, there is literally no contribution skill experience level that is not welcome here. If you are literally a chair of the SIG or a tech lead, great. Your feedback's very welcome. If you've never done any reviewing for any open source project, this could be your first chance. All good.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tim. I put up a preview of the diagram also on the screens for folks to see so that you can see that we might need a bit more time. Everyone might need a bit more time to have a look at that and give their review. But thanks so much, Tim. Reviews welcome. I would also say if you've got questions or general feedback or want maybe some more info on how to contribute specifically and what to do here, either asking in this meeting or coming into the Sick Dogs channel on Slack is a really, really good place to have that discussion. And specific feedback on this specific diagram and contribution on the PR are very, very, very welcome. Thanks, Tim.
Cool. Yeah, look forward to hearing from people. I wasn't sure which way to go with it. Your opinions as to what works and doesn't is going to help shape an improvement to our docs.
Great. Thank you so much, Tim. With that being said, we'll move on to see if anyone else has an issue or PR that they would like to bring up to chat about today. Depesh, I can see that you've got a request to get eyes on a specific PR as well, revising the naming style for feature state files. Thank you so much. Want to get eyes on that, Depesh, just to double check, and feel free to type this in. You're looking for specific feedback, or you want a tech lead to review, etc. What would you like?
Yeah, I would like some thoughts from the people now. With the upcoming release, people will start documenting feature gates. So this
Okay.
PR is essentially revising the new standard from changing the name of the feature gates file. So it will be good to have this nailed down before the release doc starts coming in and people know what to name their files.
Definitely. So for folks, just to repeat there as well, our release docs folks, specifically, we might want your eyes on this because this will definitely affect some of your work going forward. And release comms definitely also welcome to this too. But general eyes on this so that we can get this kind of standard, this naming style revised before a lot of the big work has to get done for this release. Thanks so much, Depesh. All right. Thanks also, a big thanks to Ray for taking all the notes while I moderated the meeting too. Big help. Thank you so much. With that being the case, one last call for any other issues and PRs that people want to discuss and bring up in the meeting today. All right. Thank you so much for giving us some PRs to chew on and review, both Tim and Depesh. Our last area of the agenda that we usually have for SIG Docs is general questions and discussion points that don't have to relate to a specific issue or PR. And as we don't have anything in the agenda, I want to check if anyone has any discussion point that they'd like to bring up in the meeting today.
Hey, I joined the call to specifically wanted to give a big thanks to Tim. I was contributing this week with a new document, and he was so kind to review it and work. He did a great job, and he's so thorough and patience also. He's very patient with me and with a lot of things I don't know. So he fleshed out the document and made it more legible and more robust. I think it doubled the size of the original. But he has this unique view of it. I think he puts himself in the shoes of the consumer, the end user, and it's able to have that view. Because when you're writing something you do yourself, you just understand it because you did it. But he's a great mentor, so patient and give a lot of details and justifications of the why he changed something. And I learned a lot working with him this week. Thank you, Tim.
Wow, thank you. I would like to add one thing. I did put a shout out for people who haven't worked with Kubelet in standalone mode. If you look in our Slack workspace, or you look at the PR, which is 48094, you too can go and try out this tutorial with Marcelo's work, with my fettling, and you can see, and I'd love to have people, again, if you've never used this stuff, that's brilliant. You can tell us with your fresh eyes if it makes sense to you. And to run through that, give us the feedback. Does it make sense? Did anything go wrong? Tell us, because if we get that feedback and it works for you, we can start, that's the first thing towards merging. So I really want to get that feedback from people. So I want to merge this. It's a good thing to add.
Awesome.
Look at the long list of Tim's comments there.
Yeah, sorry there were so many, but it's a really good bit of documentation now.
I'm very thankful.
Feedback.
Tim.
Oops, sorry.
And I wanted to ask Tim, is it okay if I go and nag the people of the SIG node in Slack to?
You can, but I did already.
Okay.
Someone put the link in there, yeah. Yes, thanks, Natalie. Brilliant.
Very welcome. I'm just going to add that also to the meeting notes there as well for someone else too, if they want to go into that PR. Thank you so much. Thanks, Marcelo. That was very kind to say. Now recorded for all eternity on YouTube for also other folks to know how great Tim is.
Yes.
Great. Thanks so much. Does anyone have any other questions or discussion points that they'd like to bring up for today's meeting? All right. With that silence, I'm going to say that that's likely a no, which means that we've come to the end of our agenda for today's SIG Docs meeting. A big thank you to everyone for joining. This is a very well attended meeting today, so thanks so much. And if you have any other questions or any other discussion points, always come to the SIG Docs channel on Slack. We're absolutely happy to help you out there at many different times of everyone's day, given that our whole team is kind of very, very global at the moment, which is great. And second, if you've got any questions around any issues or PRs that you want to have looked at this week, you have the issue and PR wranglers for this week being Xander and Tim, respectively. So feel free to ping them as well this week only, because that's their shift, and then the following week that'll change. But feel free to come in and check with the wranglers if you need a PR reviewed for this week. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. And we'll see you next time in a couple of weeks for the next SIG Docs call. Bye. Take care.